Why doesn't TikTok push you to register an account? What the hell is pre-boarding? And why the concept of the aha moment is often misunderstood? In this episode, we're talking about product onboarding, and I'll show you how we do it here at Ahrefs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim Solo and you're watching SaaS Marketing Blog, a place where I'm showing you the behind the scenes of how we do marketing at Ahrefs. So, onboarding, the second best thing that happened to SaaS since product market fit. I mean, no one wants to fill the leaky bucket, right? What's the point of investing in marketing and persuading people to try your product when most of these people won't stick around? But with proper onboarding, you can patch the holes in your leaky bucket and convert more of your visitors into customers. And before I tell you how we approach onboarding here at Ahrefs, let me set the context real quick. We're not a public company, so we don't share our business numbers publicly. But back in 2018, our CEO and founder Dmitry tweeted that Ahrefs was growing at a pace of 60% year over year with no funding and a small team. That's quite a decent annual growth rate for an 8-figure company, right? And 2 years later, in 2020, we're still growing by a mid-2-digit percentage. In other words, we must be doing something right with how we onboard new users. Well, I guess you'd be surprised to know that we never really had a deliberate goal to optimize our onboarding. Even more so, we're hardly making use of any popular tactics like product tours, email nurturing sequences, gamification, etc. And in order to decide whether you need to implement any of these things in your onboarding, you have to first understand the following 3 concepts: the aha moment, the path to value, and the motivation to solve a problem. So let's discuss each of them in detail, shall we? The aha moment. If you haven't heard of this concept before, it refers to a moment in time when a person figures out the value of using your product, which persuades them to stick around and likely become a paying customer.
We're never gonna make it.
I believe the origins of this concept can be traced back to the infamous case of Twitter onboarding. Back in the day, they discovered that in order for you to stick with their platform, you have to follow at least 30 people, with 1/3 of them following you back. And once they designed their onboarding around this very objective, their user growth skyrocketed. That story is super famous among product marketers. But what this story doesn't tell you is the actual reason why people were signing up for Twitter in the first place. And the answer is curiosity. People would hear somewhere that Twitter is a hot new social network, so they would go and sign up for it. And if they wouldn't figure out it in the first few minutes of using it, they would be very unlikely to come back to it anytime soon.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't get it either.
And that's why it was so important for Twitter to drive their newly registered users towards that aha moment that will help them figure out the value of using the app. But what if I told you that for many software products, this aha moment is not something that users experience after they sign up, but rather something that makes them want to sign up in the first place? Let me share a few examples of what could possibly drive you to sign up for Ahrefs. You want to learn how to do keyword research, so you Google it and you find an article from our blog. In that article, we show you how to use Ahrefs Keywords Explorer to generate keyword ideas. Bam! There's your aha moment. Then you go to an SEO conference and the speaker is talking about link building. They say that with the help of Ahrefs Site Explorer, you can see who is linking to the pages of your competitors. And this way, you can deconstruct their link building strategies. Bam! Another aha moment. Then you meet your friend for a drink, and she says that she used Ahrefs Site Audit to analyze her website for SEO issues and discovered quite a few technical errors that were hurting her website's performance in Google. Bam! Another aha moment. As you can see, a person might experience multiple aha moments stacking on top of each other and motivating them more and more to go and sign up for your product. And by the time they sign up, they won't need any product tours or anything. They already have a list of things in their head that they want to try. So once we figured that aha moments for Ahrefs happen outside the tool, we stopped obsessing about our onboarding so much. Instead, we shifted our efforts onto creating more of these aha moments that happen outside the tool. That is, by creating educational content on our blog and on our YouTube channel. I call this pre-boarding, in case you needed another made-up marketing term. And the scale at which we pre-board users here at Ahrefs is quite impressive actually. We get 1.5 million visits to our blog and almost 400,000 views of our YouTube videos every single month, which generates tens of thousands of aha moments that drive people to sign up for Ahrefs. But what works for us might not necessarily work for you, right? And yet, before you put any effort into some sophisticated onboarding strategy, I suggest that you consider an option to educate your users and drive them to an aha moment before they sign up. For example, if you are buying ads to drive traffic to a product, consider creating a free webinar about the problem that your product solves and funnel your paid traffic to that webinar instead. This might end up working much better than many onboarding tactics. The path to value. Many onboarding guides talk about the concept of common conversion activities. They advise you to identify the common actions that users take before becoming your paying customers, and then funnel all the newly registered users towards these same actions. But I prefer to call this path to value. So while the aha moment refers to the actual value that users get from using your software, the path to value is a sequence of actions that these users need to take in order to arrive at that value. And the shortest path to value that I have ever seen in an app is in TikTok. Let me share that story real quick. So this one day, all of a sudden, my friend Matt Diggity sends me a TikTok video where he and his wife are dancing in Ahrefs t-shirts. And while I was struggling to understand what the hell was going on, Matt was kind enough to educate me that there is a trend where people record their version of this dance and those videos get millions of views on TikTok. That was my aha moment. I understood that what kind of content I can expect from TikTok. So I grabbed my phone and downloaded the app looking to browse more viral videos and entertain myself a little. And to my surprise, the path to value in TikTok was super short. Between launching the app and seeing the first video, they only asked me to do two things: specify my gender and pick a few interests. And that's it. They didn't ask me to register an account. They didn't ask me to find and follow my friends. They didn't offer me a tour of the app's features. From what I've heard, they figured that in order to stick with their app, a new user has to see a bunch of videos as fast as possible. That's why they ditched everything else and focused on showing me some fun videos right off the bat. Any extra step on that path to value could cost them thousands of users. But chances are your software cannot deliver its value that fast. And besides, the actual value of your software might be different for different users. A good example of that would be email marketing software. Why do people sign up for tools like MailChimp, Aweber, or ConvertKit? Someone wants to start their first ever email list. Someone else needs to create an autoresponder sequence. And someone else is looking for some very sophisticated email segmentation and automation features. And the path to creating your first email list is a lot shorter and less troublesome than the path to setting up some sophisticated email autoresponder sequences. So there's no way for email service providers to create a one-size-fits-all type of onboarding that would satisfy all of their users and all of their use cases. But let's look at how ConvertKit solved that issue. When you click on the sign up button on their homepage, the first thing you get is a short survey where they try to learn more about you and what problem specifically you're trying to solve. Then, once you're in, you'll get a cool product onboarding checklist with steps you need to take in order to achieve your goal. And the checklist is customized based on your answers to their survey. How cool is that? Does this onboarding tactic improve their conversion rate? I don't know. But what I do know is that the team at ConvertKit has a perfect understanding of the problems that their customers are trying to solve. And they experiment with ways to help their customers get there. But let's look at Ahrefs. You've just signed up for our 7-day trial, and we need to funnel you towards the aha moment that you came for. Well, which aha moment exactly did you come for? Is it the keyword research method that you've learned from our blog article? Or maybe the link building strategy that you've learned at that SEO conference? Or the advice from your friend to run an SEO audit of your website? See where I'm going with that? The value that different people are looking to get from Ahrefs varies so much that it doesn't even make sense for us to create any surveys or checklists like the guys at ConvertKit do. There are just too many possible use cases to cover. So instead of creating sophisticated surveys to segment our users and funnel them towards the exact use cases that they came for, we do nothing. And we trust that our pre-boarding will take care of everything. Did you sign up for Ahrefs to do keyword research? Well, if you search for keyword research with Ahrefs in Google or YouTube, you're going to find quite a few tutorials. Did you sign up for Ahrefs to audit your website? We have blog posts and videos about it too, and they are very easy to find. Did you plan to do some link building? Yeah, we have some educational content on the topic as well, so you are welcome to onboard yourself. But, like I said before, what works for us won't necessarily work for you. It can be that your customers are too busy to educate themselves about the solutions to their problems, and they would rather have someone do it for them. That's why most enterprise-level SaaS companies rely heavily on their sales team for onboarding new users. And that's why they do personalized product tours with each and every one of their customers. That is the single best way for these companies to guide their prospective customers towards the value of their product. And I hope these examples explain how the path to value determines your choice of onboarding tactics. But we have one final concept left to discuss: the motivation to solve a problem. Let's look at TikTok once again. Someone downloads the app to their phone because they want to see some funny videos and get entertained. So how long do you think they will stick with the app while it fails to entertain them? 10 minutes? 5 minutes? 2? Well, the truth is, if you open TikTok and the first few videos that you see fail to entertain you, poof, you're gone. You're back to browsing Facebook, checking Twitter, or watching YouTube videos. If you want to be entertained, you have too many options to choose from. So there's no reason to keep swiping TikTok for 10 minutes straight. But what about email marketing software? Imagine that you don't have an email list and you need to create one. So you find ConvertKit and you sign up for their trial. How dedicated are you this time? Well, pretty damn dedicated. Growing an email list can lead to serious boost of your business revenue. So even if the interface of the app is clunky, you're going to stick with it for quite a while before giving up. The growth of your business is at stake here. So you're not giving up just because some feature is hard to find.
Is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will.
But Tim, if the app is so bad and the interface is not intuitive, the users might leave and go look for something else. Right, but this means they will have to find a list of alternatives, evaluate them somehow to pick the most promising one, go through the registration flow and create a new account. And once they're in, what are the chances that this new software will be any better than the previous one? Perhaps it would be smarter to just stick around for a little longer with an existing software, since you're already halfway through to your goal. In other words, the more motivation people have to solve their problem, the more forgiving they will be about the lack of proper onboarding. So with all of that in mind, let's look at how we onboard users here at Ahrefs. After you sign up for our $7 trial, we walk you through the setup of your very first project. And once you're done with it, you land on the dashboard where we show you a welcome banner. This banner has a short 4-minute video with a brief overview of Ahrefs tools and 3 blocks of links that point you towards our video tutorials, SEO guides, and free courses. Then, when you open one of our tools for the first time, you get a hint that points you at the how to use tutorials that we have in almost every tool and report. With these how to use tutorials, we give our new users the confidence that they will be able to figure out all our tools and features and find actionable use cases for each of them. And finally, we send our newly registered users a welcome email with a few subsequent automated messages. In those emails, we give them some more educational content that we think would be useful for them starting out. That email sequence is still in its infancy, and we honestly didn't experiment with it as much as we should. But I'll probably save the topic of email onboarding for one of the next episodes. Are you subscribed to this channel, by the way? And that's all the onboarding that we have here at Ahrefs. No step-by-step product tours, no checklists, no gamification. Just the welcome banner, a hint for how to use tutorials, and a few simple emails. Don't get me wrong here. Onboarding is undoubtedly a very important part of product marketing, with lots of cool tactics and strategies that can be very effective. But before you get your hands dirty with any of these shiny cool strategies, I recommend that you think about the fundamentals that we have just discussed. The aha moment, the path to value, and the motivation to solve a problem. These three concepts will help you to understand if a specific strategy that you're thinking to implement would even make sense in your situation. And don't forget about the concept of pre-boarding, which might actually end up making many of these onboarding tactics irrelevant. And that's it. Thanks for watching this episode of SaaS Marketing Vlog. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. We publish new videos every 2 weeks, so I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!